You've got mail. You've got mail. Goodbye.
To all of you who thought AOL was voiced by a computer, now let's set the record straight. I recorded those phrases. Welcome. You've got mail. Files done. Goodbye. My name is Elwood Edwards, and I'm the voice of You've Got Mail. In 1989, my wife was a customer service rep for the company that was about to become America Online. She heard Steve Case talking to some of the programmers about how fun it would be to add a voice to the software. I've been an announcer throughout my entire broadcasting career, and she volunteered me. I scribbled those phrases on a piece of paper, and like I say, on the cassette deck I recorded the welcome, you've got mail, files done, goodbye. It started off as a test, just to see if it would catch on. And lo and behold, in the mid-90s, it had really caught on. And at one point, they said my voice was heard more than 35 million times a day. But the problem was, I was typecast. The one thing I did do was a voice for The Simpsons.
Welcome to You've Got Leprosy. Leprosy! Goodbye.
Being associated with AOL has been gratifying. Even today, you go on AOL.com, I greet you. I greet myself.
You know what this is. The wagon, the river, dying of dysentery. All you ever wanted to do is get to Willamette Valley safely. It's the Oregon Trail. But did you know that this iconic game started as a board game? It was 1971. Three guys, Don, Bill, and Paul, were roommates in Minnesota. They were student teachers. Don, who would often dress up as historical figures to captivate his students, needed a creative way to teach lessons about the Oregon Trail. So he created a board game. He started by using a map of the American frontier and wrote flashcards for the hardships pioneers faced, like dysentery, broken wagon wheels, and snake bites. As soon as his roommates got wind of the board game, they suggested he pump it up by turning it into a computer game. Over the next 2 weeks, the three men put together the very first version of Oregon Trail. But small problem, they didn't have a computer, so they used this wacky machine, a teletype, a sort of glorified typewriter that didn't even have a monitor. Basically, they would type code onto these huge pieces of paper and then print them out. When the program was done, Don's class couldn't get enough of the game. Kids were staying late and arriving early just so they could play Oregon Trail. Several years later, Don got a job with the Minnesota Educational Computing Consortium, an educational software company, and he pitched them Oregon Trail as a program idea. As soon as Apple IIs were launched in the late 70s and sent out to classrooms all over Minnesota, Oregon Trail became a big hit. Such a big hit that other states began licensing the game, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Hooking up two boxcars and making them function.
Conjunction, junction, what's your function?
That's one of my most popular songs, huh? Conjunction, junction.
In 1971, Bob Dorough, oh, that's Bob.
Hi.
Someone asked him,
Let's put the multiplication tables to rock music and we'll call it multiplication rock. What do you think?
It's Schoolhouse Rocking.
and so this happened, Schoolhouse Rock, and it ran for 64 episodes.
Yes, I'm only a
3, you can see it's a magic number.
The songs were iconic, and many of them were written and performed by Bob.
Well, I can't say exactly how many I wrote for Schoolhouse Rock, but I'd say about 22 and a half.
But Bob's career isn't limited to Schoolhouse Rock.
Nope, I'm a producer, even an actor,
Carew sold us out, man. He tried to hang us.
Shut up, Kurt.
singer, pianist, and all-around good guy.
He played with Miles Davis.
Deep down, he was a sweetheart.
Bob's been writing and recording music for over 50 years. But he agrees that despite all this,
I'm probably best known for the job I did for Schoolhouse Rock. It was total fun. When you have a commission, that makes it easier. than just to say, write me a love song. Okay, well, where do I start? But, you know, put the multiplication tables to music and make it interesting.
3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18.
It was easy.
21, 24, 27, 30. 3, 6, 9.
It's me, Mario! It's a me, Mario! Woohoo! Let's go! Okie dokie! I've been the voice of Mario for 26 years.
Now moving on to Luigi.
Now moving on to Luigi. Oh. Hi, I'm Charles Martinet. I do the voice of Super Mario. Here we go! Woohoo! And Luigi too. Luigi #1. Ha ha! And Wario, have a rotten day. Yahoo! You gonna eat that garlic? And I was even Donkey Kong at one point. I am an actor and voice actor. I did, 25 years of theater.
Run along to your party!
Corporate videos. Circuitry and semiconductor processes. A few film and television products.
Now beat it, all of you. Now!
And then I had the marvelous beginning of becoming a voice actor, and that's how I started with It's a me, Mario. Mario was first created in 1981 in a game called Donkey Kong. As it got refined through the years, it became Mario and Princess Peach. Ah, the princess. And I came along in 1990. I actually crashed an audition because I was catching them as I walked in, they were walking out, finished for the day. I said, can I read for this? And the guy looked at his watch and he goes, all right, come on in. You're an Italian plumber from Brooklyn, a character in a video game for Nintendo called Mario. So make up a voice, make up a video game, start talking. And I thought to myself, video game? I don't know anything about video games. And all of a sudden I hear action. I go, hello, I'm a Mario. Let's make a pizza pie together. You go get some sausage. I'm gonna get some spaghetti. We put spaghetti in the sausage and the pizza. And he said, cut, stop talking. There's no more tape. All right, thanks, we'll be in touch. And I thought that was, okay, there's the door. We'll see you later. And he calls Nintendo, I found a Mario. I got him. And that was 26 amazing, fantastic years ago. Hello. Hello. Whoopee! Oh, look at this world. The character, for me, brings out the best in me, and so I love that. Bing, bing, bing. I love sharing things, too. I go to meet Mario fans, and I hear the most wonderful thing. You're the voice of my childhood. Or, I used to play with my dad. Now I'm playing with my kids, and it's a way our family comes together. Yeah. Pretty good. This brings back the memories. Mamma mia. You just have fun, That's my mantra for life. Come on, let's go. Let's have more fun. Bye-bye. See you in my games. Woohoo!
Pogs. You probably remember this prolific 90s fad, but what you may not know is that Pogs have roots that go all the way back to 17th century Japan. Okay, first things first, let's review the rules. To play, you start with a stack of Pogs, all face down. Player 1 takes a slammer and throws it down onto the pile and keeps any and all Pogs that land face up. Pogs that remain face down are restacked and the game continues on. The player with the most Pogs at the end of the game wins. Hooray! The origins of Pogs can be traced back to this, Menko, a classic Japanese game. Players threw cards at their opponent's cards with the goal of flipping them over. In the early 1900s, Japanese immigrants settled in Hawaii and brought the game with them. Over time, it evolved into a version played with milk and juice caps from a local dairy company in Maui, eventually renaming it Pogs after their juice that was made out of passion fruit, orange, and guava. Get it? In 1991, this woman, a 6th grade teacher named Blossom Galbiso, introduced the game to her class. Her goal was to teach them math, but in a fun way, and it worked, big time. Kids loved it, and the game exploded in popularity throughout Hawaii and then spread to the mainland. As the game took off, this marketing guy, Alan Rapinski, took note. He purchased the trademark for Pogs, founded the World Pog Federation, and got them into every store in America. And subsequently into nearly every home with a 90s kid. Pog. Thanks, Alan.
It was the game that coined a dozen catchphrases and made over $1 billion in quarters. But NBA Jam almost never saw the light of day.
Oh my! He's on fire!
This is NBA Jam game designer Mark Turmel.
So we put together a demo, a videotape, VHS. We sent it to the NBA and said, hey, we're making this cool game. And they immediately shut it down and said, no, we don't want the NBA logo in the arcades. So once we got rejected, we made a videotape of nice family entertainment centers. And we sent that back to them and said, look, you know, your logo can be here. So they relented and provided the license. When we put it in the arcade for the very first time, there were no stats that differentiated the players. Everybody assumed that Shaq was a bad three-point shooter or Stockton could steal the ball. So we realized pretty quickly that we had to, you know, up our game to match the real world. No good! Well, if it's just looking at pure attributes, I happen to be the best player in the game. Showtime! When you actually put in my secret character, it just shows question marks for the stats. But they're all 10s or 9s.
Take back from the outside, down it!
I'm pretty good at NBA Jam.
To test the claim, we had Mark hack into the machine.
There we go.
And turn on cheat codes.
All right, now we're talking.
Usually when somebody finds out that I've made NBA Jam, they say, I spent so much money on that NBA Jam, or, you know, I flunked a class in college because of NBA Jam. Well, I look at the game now, I wish it were smoother, but it was the technology at the time. The game still holds up today.